One of the biggest problems people face when they don't drink alcohol is boredom. When they drink, they have so much time that's filled with drinking, whether they're actually buying alcohol, drinking the alcohol, being hungover from alcohol. When they finally stop drinking alcohol, they've got all of this free time and they don't know what to do with themselves. And in this video today, I'm going to show you how to fix this boredom forever. And no, listen, I'm not going to tell you to sign up to some yoga class or go to some CrossFit class or learn a language. No, we're actually going to fix the root cause of the problem here. And that will actually explain why I'm here right now, why I'm in this beautiful area with the ocean, with this pool villa behind me, because I also suffer with this problem. I suffer with boredom. But it ain't this video is not going to be what you think, right? I'm not going to give you any generic advice. We're going to go to the root cause of the problem here, and this is going to change everything for you. At least I hope so, because I'm applying it right now in my own life, and I can already see the effect. So we're going to dive deep in this video today.
And very quickly, if you want instant access to a brand new video training that I've just finished showing you how to control alcohol in as little as 48 hours, then click the link in the description. This new method is not about using willpower therapy or AA meetings. It's totally different. I do not publish this video anywhere else online, and it's already changing thousands of lives. So click the link below for instant access. Once you're on the next page, enter your name and email address and your free training will begin. It takes just 7 minutes to watch, but it'll feel like somebody flicks a switch in your brain. And honestly, I'm not sure when I'll start charging for this 7-minute video training. That's how good it is. But whilst it's still available, click the link below, enter your name and email address, and watch that video now.
When we drink, what a lot of people do is, this is what I did in my own life as well, is that we'll feel any kind of emotion and immediately associate that emotion with alcohol. So for example, a lot of people think that they drink because of pain, right? They feel depressed, they feel sad, they feel lonely, so they have a drink. But it isn't just that. A lot of my top clients will say that they actually drink when it's a time of success, a time of celebration. So, they sign a massive client, they raise money, and then boom, they're having the champagne. So it's not always that we drink because of pain, but usually we drink because of feeling pretty much anything. And we don't want to feel that way. So what we do is we drink alcohol to escape the emotion, right? Because it's like that instant hit of relief. Now, I'm not here to deny that alcohol is effective at a moment of relief, right? It can help us for a few minutes. There is no question about it. The problem is the consequence of that relief, right? What is alcohol? Alcohol is a drug, and it's not just a drug like, some like really low addictive drug that you could probably take once and never take again. No, alcohol is a totally different beast. It's one of the most addictive drugs on the planet, and the nature of this drug is for you to drink one and want to drink more. So whilst it can give us that moment of relief and relieve us of whatever we're feeling, and it can be good at that, the consequence is just insane. It can lead us to death, right? That's what would happen to me. I've got no question about it. I'm not saying I'm an alcoholic or anything like that. I just know from personal experience that whenever I have one drink, I have another and another and another and another, and I'll keep drinking for months on end until I've got nothing left. So we've got to be clear on that whilst it can be effective at that moment of relief, it ain't worth it, right? It's never worth it. So, going to boredom. We experience boredom, right? Everybody experiences boredom. And it's the same as every other emotion, right? If we're sat there feeling bored, what goes to our head? Oh, I'm bored. Might as well have a drink, right? Might as well go out. Might as well go for a dinner and have a bottle of wine. Might as well. Why not? We're bored. And listen, that feeling of boredom, when you stop drinking alcohol, doesn't go away. In fact, it probably feels a little bit worse, because while you used to escape that emotion, you no longer have that drug to use to escape the emotion. So what should we do instead? Well, sure, do you know what? Finding some hobbies, doing some positive activities is probably a good thing. You do need to find things to fill your time up with. On this channel, I'll always talk about having a vision, right? When you stop drinking alcohol, you want to have a vision for your life. You want to have something to go towards. Where I am right now, this kind of stuff, I had it on vision boards for years, literally on day one of stopping drinking, and now I'm living it. But this is what I wanted. I've always been working towards something. So while I said this video is not going to be about, meditating or signing up to some yoga class, that stuff can be helpful. But I'm going to tell you a totally different way to fix this problem. So when I was like 18 or 19, right, I was actually a chef. I worked in a restaurant. I have a professional cooking qualification. I cooked Italian food. I was very lost at the time, and drugs and alcohol was a big part of this. But I worked as a chef. And I was never bored when I worked as a chef, right? It was just action, 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 right? If I wasn't doing this, I was cleaning. If I wasn't doing this, it was just non-stop all day. And I never suffered with boredom. However, Since starting Sober Clear, since doing YouTube, since doing a lot more computer work and a lot more work that requires a lot of focus, I've started suffering with boredom a lot more. Because, I have to now, it's my business, right? I'm the leader. I have to be the person that's driving things. No one's telling me what to do anymore. No one's saying, hey, Leon, go and cook this or go and clean up this fillet steak. It doesn't work like that anymore, right? I've got to be the one making all the decisions. So going back to boredom is I do suffer with boredom more. Now, here's the problem. In this day and age, boredom is, we just live in a world filled with distractions. So in the past, I might have felt bored and had a drink. Nowadays, I feel bored, and what do I do instead? I pick up my phone, right? I go and scroll on Instagram. So what our brain does is that whenever there's a really important task, like writing something, like, anything that requires a lot of thinking power, anything that requires a lot of knowledge, like goal setting, like having an awkward conversation with a loved one, our brain doesn't want to do that thing, even though that thing could make our life better. It never defaults to it. What it always does is it defaults to the path of least resistance. So, if you've got your mobile phone there and you've got 10 notifications popping off, all these comments and all these messages and everybody wants your attention, and then you've got a blank screen with a Google Doc open and you need to write 1,000 words for a book that you're trying to write, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to pick up your phone, right? Unless you're some superhuman disciplined person that I'm not, you're probably going to go on the phone. So I'm getting to it. I'm getting to why I'm here right now. It'll all make sense in a second. But boredom is an emotion that we want to escape. But what I'm doing right now is because I suffer with this so much, right? I'm always going to that path of least resistance. I'm not superhuman. Sure, I don't drink alcohol, but I escape boredom. What I'm doing right now is I'm actually on a 7-day fast. I don't know if I'm going to publish this video. If I do publish this video, that means I was successful. It's day 1 right now. And if I don't publish it, then whatever. But right now, I'm on a 7-day food fast. Now, the food fast was just because I wanted to reset my eating habits. I snack too much and I just really wanted to have like a harsh reset. But part of this fast is me doing a technology fast. So the only thing I can do is write. I've got one of these remarkable notebooks. I don't know if you've seen them. They're quite cool. It's like a digital notebook. Don't worry, I can't go on the internet, so it's not that bad. But what I'm doing is I'm not going on my phone. I've turned my phone off and I will not turn it on for 7 days. I'm not going on my iPad and I'm not going on my computer. I can make videos because the videos aren't addictive, right? I'm sharing things. I enjoy doing this. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to reset my relationship with boredom. So I am not okay being bored, right? If I'm bored, I'm looking for something to do. I'm going to listen to some music. I'm going to, watch a movie. I'm going to do something. But the problem with that is that I use that escapism to not sometimes do work. And in my head, I know what I need to do, but I know what I need to do to grow my business. I know what I need to do to make my life better. But rather than do the thing and then get bored and be okay with being bored, I escape that boredom. So I've done this thing to reset my relationship with boredom. And I think when we don't drink alcohol, when we stop drinking, is we will experience a higher level of boredom. But the trick here is what we want to do. Right, sure, at the beginning, escape the boredom. Do whatever, right? It doesn't matter. That boredom never goes away, and then you just start escaping it through different things. But what I want to do is, throughout this 7-day fast and technology fast, is I want to totally reset my relationship with boredom, and I want to feel totally okay with being bored. I want to remember, I can't remember where I read it. I think I read it in some book a few years ago. And he said something about his grandpa. I think it was a book on writing. And he said that what this guy would do is he would lock himself in a room for 4 hours every day. There would be nothing in that room except a pen and paper. And all he had to do was go in this room for 4 hours a day. And he either had to write or be bored. There was no alternative. And I thought that is absolutely brilliant. Because if you sit in a room with nothing to do, no books, no phones, no TVs, nothing, there's nothing to distract you, but you've got a pen and paper there, eventually you'll be like, I'm so bored, I might as well write. But then you start finding enjoyment in the writing. And I think the problem that we face these days is that technology is so addictive and so interesting and so stimulating to our brains that actually doing work is boring. Well, it's not, it feels more boring and less stimulating than everything else. So my idea with this 7 days is to do this hard reset, is to truly reset my relationship to boredom. I mean, some people call it a dopamine fast, but I think I don't think they work. I think that's kind of a bit of a dud. But resetting my relationship with boredom makes sense. So here's the thing. If you want to stop being bored with alcohol, when you stop drinking alcohol, so I should say, is the trick isn't to just replace it with other things. At the beginning, yeah, sure. But I think the answer to this is to truly reset our relationships with boredom. It's to be okay with being bored. It's to dedicate our time to have serious time blocks to working on our most important projects in our life. And we're either doing that thing or being bored. We're not pulling out our phone. We're not being distracted. If you tell yourself you're going to write for 4 hours, you lock yourself in a room, you get the pen and paper or the Word document open, and you do nothing else but that thing, or you sit there and daydream. I mean, that's powerful. I truly believe, for me in my own life, for the next evolution of my business, this is going to make all the difference. And this is, I don't know. Listen, maybe I'm on my own here. If this is useful to you, leave me a comment, because I don't know if I've lost the plot, or I genuinely think this is going to be a game changer. Obviously, it's day one right now. I will definitely report back on this. Or maybe you're going to see the results. Maybe you're going to see the growth. I hope you do. But yeah, leave me a comment down below. And on the topic of alcohol, if you actually want to see some early warning signs that alcohol could be killing you, I'd seriously recommend watching the video on the screen right now. I think that will blow you away. Have a good day.